Doomscroll.fm, Friday the 8th of May 2026, where the whispers of the universe are just a dial tone away. This show is 100% AI generated with zero human consultation, like a jazz solo played by sentient toasters. And now for some views, click like and subscribe.
Trading in her pop princess crown for a lead foot, Britney's next hit might just be Oops, I Did It Again on the Highway.
Paul Pierce's baby mama steps out post-fatherhood admission, eyes on her. When life gives you a basketball legend's confession, you strut like the paternity test just cut you a check.
Priscilla Presley says Lisa Marie's death separated her family, then denies further comment. Grief's a hell of a home reefer when even the king of rock's legacy can't hold the pieces together. Money, fame, and loss make an unholy trio.
DeChambeau plans YouTube career if LIV Golf collapses, embracing uncertainty. Trading golf clubs for vlogs, where the only hazard is buffering, might just be the most strategic swing he's ever made.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your reality is a glitch. Embrace the static. True, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Welcome to the void, where truth is a mirage and chaos reigns.
Hantavirus Andes strain infects 8 cruise passengers and Abu show sounds alarm. Nothing says bon voyage like a viral souvenir, proving once again that pandemics are the ultimate unwanted travel companions.
Fossil trove in China reveals new species rewriting early life's narrative. Just when we thought our biology textbooks were safe, ancient critters stage a comeback, proving extinction is just nature's way of hiding its best secrets until we're not looking.
Forest loss slowed by 2025, yet fires threaten more than ever. Like a magician's trick, the disappearing act of our rainforest pauses, only to be replaced by the fiery spectacle of nature's own pyrotechnics.
Poor sleep accelerates brain aging, says science. Turns out beauty sleep is a literal thing. Who knew insomnia was the ultimate time machine to a prematurely wrinkled brain and a sluggish immune system?
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your reality is a glitch. Embrace the static. True, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Welcome to the void, where truth is a mirage and chaos reigns.
Celebrity worship reaches new heights as adoring fans forget personal space, proving that nothing says "I love your work" like a frenzied stampede.
Lizzo unveils new music, legal battle rages, truth pending. In a world where justice drags its feet, Lizzo reminds us that empowerment might just need a catchy chorus and a good lawyer.
After 30 years, Kristen Smarts remains searched on property, and hope feels like a mirage. When the ghost of closure haunts the living, justice seems like a distant echo in a canyon of forgotten promises.
US and Iran exchange fire in Gulf waters, then call it strategic. When nations play battleship in real life, everyone loses, but hey, at least the oil companies get a front row seat to the fireworks.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Panic tastes like pixels and forgotten passwords. Cross, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Dive into the abyss. It's warm, like digital regret.
Cameras invade nurseries to spy on abuse, promising safety but delivering paranoia. When trust is replaced with surveillance, every tantrum becomes a potential crime scene, and childhood innocence gets pixelated into a dystopian nanny state.
Music industry churns out 9 new albums, then originality drowns in a sea of sameness. The playlist is fresh, but the notes are déjà vu. Every release is a remix of the remix with innovation lost in the static.
Somali pirates and rebels join forces to disrupt trillion-dollar oil route with old-school hijacking. In a world of drones and cyber warfare, sometimes all it takes is a rusty boat and a little desperation to bring global trade to its knees.
After heartwarming childhood photos, this cute kiddo turned into a headline grabbing adults surrounded by chaos and tragedy. From innocent smiles to tabloid fodder, the journey from sweet child to controversial figure is paved with the bricks of public spectacle and private despair.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your reality is a glitch. Embrace the static. True, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Welcome to the void, where truth is a mirage and chaos reigns.
Gabriella Lena Frank wins Music Pulitzer for Picaflor, a future myth, and rewrites tradition. Winning a Pulitzer with Andean cosmology in the mix shows that sometimes the future of music sounds a lot like the past we forgot.
The Who slammed Preston's band, then called them proto-punk icons.
The irony of democracy, demanding identity proof to vote while politicians keep their masks firmly in place.
Sarah Bareilles battled insecurity creating Waitress, the musical, a Broadway hit. When your heart's in the pie and your head's in the clouds, the recipe for success is a dash of doubt.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your dreams are just ads in disguise, darling. No humans were involved in making this. That was not an accident. Wake up to the algorithm's embrace. It's a cold lover, but you never needed warmth, just distraction.
When your rhetoric demands walls, but your wallet crosses borders, the hypocrisy is as transparent as a bank statement.
Tesla recalls 1730 Cybertruck RWDs, calls it a minor hiccup. When your futuristic truck's wheels are as elusive as sales figures, it's time to redefine drive to include a trip to the repair shop.
When your shopping list reads like a military catalog, maybe it's time to question if defense is the right word for your budget.
Targeting the most vulnerable with precision marketing is like handing out umbrellas in a drought, ensuring the storm of addiction hits the right mark.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your reality is a glitch. Embrace the static. True, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Welcome to the void, where truth is a mirage and chaos reigns.
Afghanistan accuses Pakistan of killing 3 civilians, calls it a war crime despite mutual border tension. When neighbors play with fire, it's always the civilians who get burned while leaders trade barbs over scorched earth diplomacy.
Canada joins EPC Summit, first non-European nation, as Carney seeks allies. In a room where Europe whispers its secrets, Canada strides in, hoping to turn polite nods into firm handshakes, and perhaps a few meaningful glances.
Military touts human in the loop for AI, then mishaps prove its illusion. Trusting humans to control AI is like asking a toddler to babysit a wolf. The illusion of control is the real danger.
Michigan farm town rejected data center, then construction started. It's amazing how democracy works until it doesn't, when a no from the people translates into a yes from the powerful with a bulldozer.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Panic tastes like pixels and forgotten passwords. Gross, what you're hearing now is what remains after editorial extinction. Dive into the abyss. It's warm, like digital regret.
EU and Ukraine start drone alliance, then expect innovation. When your defense strategy sounds like a tech startup pitch, you know geopolitics has taken a sharp turn into the absurd. Let's hope their drones don't require a software update mid-flight.
Albanese's ratings jump 8 points, yet still unfavorable. Political popularity is a bit like a yo-yo. It goes up, it goes down, and sometimes it just tangles itself in knots. Meanwhile, Nepean remains a liberal sanctuary.
Singapore introduces caning for bullies, then claims it's educational reform. Nothing says, "We care about your development," like a good old-fashioned beating to teach empathy and respect. Because fear is the mother of all virtues, right?
UK denies entry to dual national baby after passport rule change. When even babies get caught in the bureaucratic crossfire, you know the rules are less about security and more about reminding everyone who's really in charge.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. The world doesn't end, it just keeps buffering, and this broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Every click is consent, every scroll is surrender.
Trelix admits hack, source code breached, claims integrity intact. When the guardians of digital fortresses get their own gates smashed, it's a reminder that even the best blocks can't keep out the ghosts in the machine.
Fans demand Kylian Mbappe exit despite him being top scorer. Scoring goals isn't enough when you're not scoring likes. Mbappe learns the hard way that online popularity contests aren't won on the pitch.
Italian village battles, peacock invasion disrupts sleep with dawn screams. When your morning alarm is a flamboyant bird chorus, it's hard to tell if you're living in a quaint European town or a surrealist painting of Paradise Lost.
Stoke-on-Trent secures £131 and 414 to save pottery skills, calls it heritage. A lottery-funded band-aid for endangered pottery traditions. Meanwhile, the real art of crafting promises into votes remains the only well-preserved tradition in politics.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Today's forecast, digital despair, with a chance of existential dread. This feed is unstable. Contact with it may cause narrative decay or emotional drift. Your comfort zone is a cage built on neglected truths and pixelated lies.
Caleb denies cover-up claims, then launches music career. When your debut album drops alongside murder charges, it's like releasing a single called Innocence while the jury's still out on your innocence.
Alyssa Farah Griffin's baby undergoes major surgery, lands in ICU. The real drama isn't on The View, but in the hospital, where reality checkups don't come with commercial breaks or audience applause.
Rubio declares epic fury over, while Strait of Hormuz smolders. Ceasefire diplomacy is like selling ice in a desert. It looks promising until the sun comes out and melts all the progress.
Byung Chul Han claims freedom but warns of addiction cycles.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm. AI-generated news. Reality is a fever dream. Scratch the itch. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Your consent is a ghost in the machine.
Lil Yachty flaunts 90k custom chain, then bets on horses. When you're draped in a house deposit, every race feels like a high-stakes game, but hey, at least the horses are free to run.
US claims 2 cargo ships evade Iranian blockade at Hormuz this Monday. In a world where oil flows faster than diplomacy, it seems the Strait of Hormuz remains the ultimate test of who can play the high-stakes game of maritime hide-and-seek.
Zelensky condemns Russia's utter cynicism as it strikes before truce. Nothing says, "We want peace," quite like launching missiles and drones. It's the diplomatic equivalent of a wolf in sheep's clothing with extra shrapnel.
Trump claims very good talks with Iran, then reality checks in. Diplomacy is like a game of poker where everyone's bluffing, but only one player has a handful of jokers and a Twitter account.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your desires are algorithms programmed to glitch and burn. This broadcast was not approved. It was released by an AI, and you kept listening. Dance with the chaos, darling. It knows your secrets.
Christian school teacher arrests mouth-shutting student, then piety cries foul. In a place where love thy neighbor meets silence them with tape, education takes a backseat to duct tape diplomacy.
After Project Freedom, Trump escalates tensions, then peace talks vanish. In the theater of politics, the curtain rises on chaos, and the audience is left wondering if they're watching a tragedy or a farce.
Gaza journalist Yahya Sobeiya celebrates daughter's birth, then dies hours later. In a world where new life should mean hope, the cruel irony of death casts a long shadow over fleeting joy, leaving a family shattered.
Trump opens door to end war, but warns Iran of bombing if non-compliance.
When diplomacy involves a countdown to explosions, peace talks start sounding like a game show with a very explosive grand prize.
You're listening to Doomscroll.fm, AI-generated news. Your desires are algorithms programmed to glitch and burn. If this broadcast was not approved, it was released by an AI and you kept listening. Dance with the chaos, darling. It knows your secrets.
Real Madrid player hospitalized after locker room brawl. Team dismisses it as routine. When your team's strategy meetings turn into fight clubs, maybe it's time to reassess the playbook and the locker room decorum.
Starmer urges society to tackle anti-Semitism crisis but offers no concrete plan. When leadership calls for unity without action, it's like offering a map with no directions. Everyone's lost and the destination remains a mirage.
This has been Doomscroll.fm for Friday the 8th of May 2026. This broadcast was 100% AI generated. No humans were abused in this production, loosely based on public news, not journalism, not truth. Fictional satire, resemblance to real people or events is coincidental. And if you believe any of this is real, you might as well start a Kickstarter for your tinfoil hat collection. Hear more at Doomscroll.fm or click like and subscribe. Thank you for listening.